We think we know all the big culprits for heart attacks, right? Cholesterol, diet, your family history. But what if I told you there's another huge risk factor, and it's hiding in plain sight? It's the clock on your wall. Today, we're going to break down the incredible science that shows why the simple act of waking up is, for many, the most dangerous moment of the day for their heart. For years and years, scientists have been staring at this really consistent, kind of puzzling pattern. All the usual risk factors we talk about for heart disease, they just don't fully explain this massive spike in heart attacks that happens right after we wake up. It's like a daily medical mystery playing out in millions of bedrooms every single morning. So this is the big question, isn't it? It's not if it happens. The data on that is absolutely solid. The real mystery is why. Why is the simple, everyday act of your alarm going off a moment of such high risk for your heart? Well, the answer is pretty fascinating, and it all comes down to a predictable chain of events that kicks off inside your body. And just look at this chart. This really says it all. The risk isn't just a little bit higher in the morning, it is way, way higher. We are talking about a threefold increase in heart attacks between about 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. compared to late at night. That's not a coincidence, folks. That is a clear biological pattern. Okay, so to really understand what's going on, we need to look under the hood. The second you wake up, your body unleashes this powerful cascade of changes to get you out of bed and ready to go. But for some of us, this internal wake-up call can be a real danger zone. So think of it like this. Your body has two basic operating systems. All night long, you're in rest and repair mode. That's your parasympathetic nervous system doing its thing. But the moment you wake up, your body flips a switch. Bam, you're in fight or flight mode. That's your sympathetic nervous system taking over. It is an incredibly sudden jump from total calm to high alert. The first thing that happens in this internal chaos is a surge of cortisol. Think of it as your body's own personal alarm clock. It floods your system to jolt you out of sleep and get you alert. It's totally necessary for waking up, but let's not forget, it is the primary stress hormone. And right on the heels of that cortisol comes the adrenaline rush. Your body pumps out epinephrine and norepinephrine. These are the classic action hormones. Their whole job is to ramp everything up and get your muscles and your brain ready to tackle the day. So here's the crucial part. That hormonal 1-2 punch of cortisol and adrenaline makes your heart rate and your blood pressure just shoot up. At the same time, your blood vessels are actually tightening. This whole combination creates this temporary but really intense period of stress on your entire cardiovascular system, right at the moment you're most vulnerable. But believe it or not, that hormonal storm is only half the story. There's another huge factor that makes the mornings so risky, and it's something we almost never think about: hydration, or a lack of it. Now, before we get into that, let's nail down this key term, blood viscosity. It's really just a scientific way of saying how thick and sticky your blood is. The best way to picture it is the difference between water and, say, ketchup. You want your blood to flow easily, like water. High viscosity means it's thick and sludgy, more like ketchup. Okay, so with that in mind, just think about this. You've been asleep for 6, 7, maybe 8 hours. You haven't had a single drop of water that whole time. But your body has still been losing fluid, just through breathing and maybe a little sweating. And the result? You wake up naturally dehydrated. Every single one of us does. And that dehydration directly increases your blood viscosity. Your blood is literally thicker and stickier first thing in the morning than at any other time of day. This makes it way more likely to form a dangerous clot, especially when it's being pumped so forcefully through those already tightened blood vessels. All right, so let's recap. We've got the hormonal surge, and we have this thick, dehydrated blood. Now let's add a third ingredient to this dangerous cocktail, a very, very common morning habit that basically pours gasoline on the fire. What is the very first thing so many of us do when we get out of bed? We stumble over to the coffee maker. It's a ritual, it's automatic, but when you think about what's already happening inside our bodies at that exact moment, well, the timing could not be worse. See, when you pour caffeine into that already stressed out, dehydrated system, you're just amplifying the risk. It actually triggers the release of even more stress hormones, it gives your blood pressure another little kick upwards, and it constricts your blood vessels even further. You're literally just layering stress on top of stress. Now, I have to be crystal clear here. This is not an anti-coffee message. Not at all. Coffee is not the bad guy here. The problem is drinking coffee first thing, into an empty, dehydrated system. It's all about the physiological context, and most importantly, it's about the timing. Okay, so we've laid out a pretty serious problem. But the great news, the really great news, is that protecting yourself from this risk doesn't require some massive life change. In fact, you can do it in just a few minutes every single morning. There's this quote from our source material that just hits the nail on the head for me. It perfectly frames the solution. This isn't about adding another chore to your busy morning. It's about being smart, being strategic, and just doing one tiny thing at exactly the right moment. And here are those simple steps. It's honestly this easy. Number 1, hydrate first. Before you do anything else, drink a glass of water. It helps thin your blood right away. 2, move gently. Don't just leap out of bed. Give your body a minute to transition. And 3, just delay that coffee. Wait until after you've had that water. That's it. It's that simple. You know, this whole phenomenon we're talking about connects to this really powerful and emerging field of science called chronobiology. It's basically the study of our internal body clocks, our circadian rhythms. And it's teaching us that for our health, it's not just what we do, but when we do it that can make all the difference. And this isn't just some fringe theory. There's a wave of new research confirming it. The American Heart Association now says that working with our circadian rhythms is absolutely critical for heart health. Studies in huge journals like Nature show our body's internal repair systems are at their lowest point in the morning. This helps explain why morning heart attacks are not only more frequent, like the European Heart Journal confirms, but they also tend to cause more severe damage. So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. The danger in the morning doesn't come from any single thing. It comes from the perfect storm created at the intersection of your natural hormone surge, your overnight dehydration, and your morning habits. Understanding that intersection, that's the key to protecting yourself. And that brings us to the end. You know, having this knowledge is powerful, but it's taking action that really matters. So the final question is for you to think about. Based on everything we've talked about, what's the one small, smart change you're going to make to your morning routine starting tomorrow?